Hello, it is Thursday, April 8th, 2021, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of preparation for the black and white game jam. So no, your screen is not screwed up. This is actually the itch.io page. I do like the way these headers are done. They're actually it's actually very cool. It's very stylistic. But yeah, I wish there were a couple more colors on this page, but you know. I guess it's more like cell shading, right? Like no midtones? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but basically the rules are exactly what you would imagine, is that you can only use black and white, or you can use grayscale. We're going to use grayscale. So what we're going to do, this starts in roughly 2 days, 2 days and 20-something, 21-ish hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some aesthetic sort of stuff today, to see if we can get that working, or how well that's going to work out. So yeah, my thought is some kind of snake game, because I did some experimenting a little bit, I think it was the day before yesterday, and I want to see what happens. It's sort of a way of making a snake in Unity, and I wanted to see what would happen if we applied some shaders to it and see what it looks like. Or not shaders, but post-processing. Anyway, let's try to rebuild what I had before. So I think it was a 2D sprite with a circle. Yes. Okay. What we'll do is we'll create an empty parent, and then this will be like one of the segments. So this will be a segment, and this will be the graphics. And I think we're going to stretch this out at some point, because I think it'll look better, but let's just work with what we got for the moment. In assets, going to create a folder, call it prefabs. Work, and then we create a segment here. That segment is now prefab, and we put it in actually where prefabs go. That's prefabs, right? And we're going to create a folder for scripts. So the way that I did this before, it's sort of inefficient, but it works. So what I did was, how do I create a new thing? Is it in here? Like that, okay. So this will be the player controller component. I was going to type script, but I didn't. I started typing both script and component at the same time, because that's always fun. But yeah. So anyway, what we are going to do is, the way that I made the snake was I had each segment try to lerp towards the previous one, like try to sort of match the previous one a little bit each frame, and I think that worked out pretty well. I think this needs to be in the fixed update. Does it need to be in the fixed update? We're going to pretend it does. Oh wait, this is the player controller, so no, it doesn't. Should we use the new input system, or the newer input system? I keep saying new input system because it's new to me, but it's actually the newer one. I guess we can add it later. I want to get into the habit of using it, but I don't want to be, since we're just sort of prototyping here for the aesthetic, I don't want to get too crazy with it. Like, I don't want to do too many new things and get bogged down with that. So what we'll do is we'll have a protected, actually we don't even need, no, we need a direction. So we'll have protected vector 3, this will be our current direction. Well, actually no, our direction is the forward facing of wherever we're facing is the direction that we want to go. So what I'm going to say is that we are going to have, let's have a vertical input, or no, actually, we'll just have turning. And this is going to be input.getAxis. We're going to get the horizontal axis. So now if we hit left and right, I think we need to invert this. I can't remember why you need to invert this, but I think you do. And so what we're going to say is that the transform.rotation, we're going to rotate by quaternion.euler at 0, 0. And since we're making a 2D game, it's going to be top-down. We're going to rotate across the z-axis. We're going to rotate by turning times time.delta time times whatever the turn speed is. So we can have a protected float for the turn speed. Then we can serialize that. We can serialize that so that it will, damn it, can serialize that so it'll appear in the inspector. And then we can set the movement speed, or that'll be the, this is in, I think, degrees per second. Let's say 90 degrees per second. That's a pretty slow turning speed, but I think it'll be fine. You can always adjust it later. So I think this is fine. And that should give us some rotation. Actually, whoops, that'll just give us rotation. The other thing we want to do is we want to say the transform.position is equal to vector3, no, transform.forward times time.delta time, or plus equals transform.forward times time delta time. That way we constantly move forward at something consistent with the frame rate. So now if we put this here on the player controller component, this little thing should move. Is it moving forward? It's moving forward. I always do this. I use vector3.forward when I mean to use vector3.up, because in a 2D game, forward, let's see if I can show it. The up axis is this y-axis, the forward axis is facing out of the camera, and so we actually want to go up, not forward. Yeah, there we go. So now I can turn. Yeah, okay, cool. That works, happy with that. Let me just elongate this a little bit so that we can sort of get something approximating a direction. Let's say 0.75. This will be the head. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a segment component. So this will be a segment component as that. And this, in the update, we're going to have private void update. We're also going to have a public transform. This is going to be our target. Target. We'll have a get. We'll have get set. I think that'll be fine. And so what this will do is this will let us track something. So we'll say if not target return. That way, if we don't have any target, we just return and we don't do anything. That way we just avoid some errors, it's fine. That's all it's for, is it's just kind of for our own quality of life. And then what we'll say is we'll say transform.position is equal to vector3.lerp between transform.position and then the target.transform, or sorry, target.position. Then we'll lerp by some speed. So I have a protected float, and then this will be the, say, lerp speed, or follow speed or something. That should work, and then we'll have serialize field. And then this needs to be something quite low, something like that, probably. Well, actually, no, I think it needs to be about 1/10. No, wait, does it need to be 1? It might need to be 1 follow speed, then we multiply by time.delta time. The reasoning behind that is that the update function runs every frame, and we want to make sure that this will actually update at sort of a constant speed. This will lerp a very tiny amount per frame, actually. And I mean, ideally, I think that means that it will reach its target in 1 second. So actually, I think it needs to be 2. So it'll reach its target ideally in half a second. If it were lerping constantly, which it never will be, but you know. Hey Omar, how's it going? We are working on some stuff for the, I think it's the Black and White Game Jam. So this is starting in like 2 days or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm working on like the aesthetic for it. Yeah, how are you doing? It must be really late for you too. Like I can't, it's got to be like 2 or 3 in the morning, right? I can't imagine. So rotation is going to be quaternion.lerp. We're going to lerp from our transform.rotation towards the target.transform.rotation. Then we'll do the same thing. We'll have a protected, well actually, I think we can lerp by the same amount. Yeah, because we can lerp by the same amount, that's fine. We could, of course, store that variable, but there's no reason to. Yeah, just making something similar to snake, hopefully. And actually, we need a way to spawn this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a protected game object reference. So this is going to reference the tail, like the tip of the tail. And so in private void awake, we're going to reference ourselves, tail equal game object, which is this. Then what we'll do is we'll have a private void spawn tail. What was that last game done? So the if you're talking about the Asteroids game, I assume that's what you're talking about. So yeah, the Asteroids game, that I think we're going to count as completely done. And so I will release the source code for that at some point. I need to do a build for it, and then I'll put it on itch.io and get the source code and all that. And I think for the earlier stream, we'll start working on like a clone of Pac-Man or something. But if there's some other like classic game you'd like to see me clone, just tell me that and we can clone that instead. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's very rarely that I actually finish a project. Let me hope that I finish this one as well. Yeah, I'm trying to get better about that. That's one of the things that streaming has actually helped me with, is getting better about finishing stuff, because I feel kind of obligated to. So if we get key down code.q, then we're going to spawn a tail. The chicken adventure. Oh, the chicken invaders. Yeah, we can clone that. We can totally clone chicken invaders. Actually, that's probably a better thing to do then. Let me see how much chicken invaders actually is, because I really want to get it. Oh my god. Chicken Invaders by Interaction Studio, that sounds about right. Download the full game, it's completely free. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. I don't know that I believe that. There's the next wave. So there's a demo of it. This is about $10. Okay. Ultimate Omelet. So about 11. Okay. Yeah, I think. Well, I know this is Chicken Invaders here. Yeah. So it looks like it's completely free. That's cool. Okay, I'll probably get this then. I'll probably download it at some point if I can confirm that this is actually the developer. I'll get it and see what I can find about it, or see what the mechanics are, because I don't remember them that well. But yeah, we can totally clone that. That's probably more fun to clone anyway. Okay, so in terms of spawning the tail, what we want to do is we want to store the segment, and that's going to be in instantiate. So we're going to protected game object. This will be, it won't be that, it'll be a segment component. This will be the segment prefab, right? And then we'll just serialize that. And then actually this needs to be like that. It's only controlled by the mouse. Okay. Instantiate. But what I wanted to figure out, the reason that I wanted to download it, and which I'll probably do later today, probably just download it and play it or something. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to see what the weapon upgrades are on it, and I also wanted to see what the enemies kind of do and stuff like that. But yeah, I know, I'll look at it. So we'll spawn this at, so this is why we store the tail. We want to spawn this at the position of the tail plus the tail.forward, or sorry, tail.transform.back. Really, there's no .back, huh? Oh wow, that's weird. Okay. We're just going to subtract the forward. That'll spawn it 1 unit behind the current tail, wherever the current tail is. And then we will say tail.rotation. or tail.transform.rotation. Okay. Then we'll say is segment.target. It's been like so many years since I played that game. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's been the same for me. Why does it not like that? Oh, tail.transform.position. Aha. That's what we needed to do. So yeah, we'll spawn this here. But yeah, I remember it, but I don't remember all the complexities of it. So that's why I wanna play it. But I'll do that probably today. And then we'll start on it tomorrow. And we might make like a pixelated version of it, like maybe like an 8-bit version to make it kind of unique or something. I don't know. Have to think about it, but yeah, that's probably what we'll do then, because that's much more fun than cloning asteroids, or not asteroids, but Pac-Man. So segment.target, 3 types of ammo: yellow, red, and blue. Yellow is the worst. It's like a laser. Yeah, I remember that there were certain types of weapon upgrades. So like, you know, you get one type of weapon, you get like the red one or the laser one or the blue one. I think I always liked the blue one, but I don't remember. I think the red one was cool because it fired more shots. But I think I remember the blue one being like the more powerful one, but I just don't remember. Like that's the kind of stuff that I wanna figure out. So we're gonna set the segment's target to be the tail.transform, and then what we'll do is we set the tail as the segment.gameObject. That way we update the tail itself. So now each time we spawn something, or each time I press the Q key, we should spawn a new segment to this as soon as I assign everything. So in here, if I assign, oh, because you don't have the tail component, right, or the segment component, so add segment component. Yep, that's fine. We will do what exactly? So you have a segment component, but you don't need one. You have one, but you do. There we go. Okay, let's check this out. All right, so now if I hit that, okay, we get this kind of thing. The green is very powerful. Shape is like lightning, and the red one is normal and covers more area. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, maybe it was the green one then. Yeah, I don't remember. I'll have to look at it again to see the exact sort of stuff. But yeah, I think that'll be a fun thing to clone. All right. Whoops, I just messed up the wrong thing. I want you to have that scaling, and you to have that scaling. There we go. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So now, let's see what we do with this. All right, it's moving fairly slowly. And also, it doesn't necessarily seem to be spawning at the right location. But I do kind of like the way that it moves. It just moves a little bit slow, that's all. Yeah, alright. So what we can do is we can set the movement speed for the player, and that should help with everything. So we'll say protected float move speed. And I don't know, we'll say 1 is the default, and we can serialize. Let's say this times transform.up times time.delta time times the move speed, so whatever that might be. Okay, and then let's set the move speed to, I don't know, 4. I'm gonna delete my Visual Studio VS Code and VS Installer. Okay. I mean, that might work. I don't know. That sounds like it'll probably, I don't know, probably work. Okay, that's a little too spread out. So maybe 3? Yeah, that always helps though, is to reinstall stuff whenever it has issues. So the follow speed needs to be changed, is what I'm getting from this. Actually, I'm very curious why it seems to be moving slower near the tail, but faster near the head. Or something, I don't know. Oh, did I put transformed out forward? Oh, that's what I did. That's because I'm a genius. It's not transformed out forward, it's transformed out up. Why was that problem to begin with? Are you talking about, I think your issue was the assembly C# thing here. I think your issue is that this shows miscellaneous. And so what that means is that Visual Studio didn't get the memo that this is like a Unity project, and so you probably don't have the references and everything. That's, I think, the issue. I don't know why Visual Studio, like, sometimes Visual Studio just seems to forget. And yeah. Yeah, sometimes Visual Studio just seems to forget, or it doesn't communicate right with Unity. And so that's part of the issue. Okay. Ah, there we go. That's more like what I wanted. Okay. I mean, I still want to fix this a little bit, but that's closer. Okay, so let's set the follow speed to 5. That way it should follow a little bit closer. No one show me how to set. Yeah, usually, I don't know. I've never really had an issue with it. Well, yeah, I've never really had much of an issue with it. It just always seemed to work for me, but I don't know. I have had issues like you're talking about though, so I don't know what causes them. Unfortunately. Making a Snake game. Yeah, making something similar to Snake basically. But it's gonna be like in the end it's gonna be all black and white. And I just wanted to try to get all the shaders and stuff working today. Yeah, I kinda like the way it looks. Looks pretty cool. Alright. So I think basically this is gonna be very dark. Almost black, but not quite. And then the same thing is going to be true of the segments. Something like that. And then the camera is going to have like a super light background. Something like that. Yeah, alright. That's a bit bright, but that's basically what it's going to be. It's going to have that kind of black and white kind of look to it. I really like that. And we're going to add like shaders and bloom and all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, I really like the way that looks. Not really the spawning part. It might need, probably need the spawning to change a little bit, but actually what we'll just do, what we'll just do is we'll spawn it at the tails position. We won't even worry about spawning it behind, because I think it'll slow down to a like a natural sort of pace normally. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That way it looks like the snake itself expands. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it looks like it kind of grows out of nothing. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, it's not entirely going to be snake, it's going to be something a little bit similar. Probably have little creatures that run around and you try to eat them. I think that'll be fun. Now I know why all the starter people hate coding. Yeah, it's programming is one of those things that is very, very hard to actually get into. But once you learn how to actually test your code, it becomes pretty easy. I mean, the main thing you've got to know is how do you get a feedback loop? How do you the main way to do things in programming is to sort of, because it makes beginners, well, I mean, that's true of it's true of anything, right? You have to be, if you're gonna learn something new, it doesn't matter what it is, you got to be willing to fail a lot. I had to do that. I'm trying to think. Well, I had to do that with streaming, right? Whenever you start streaming, you feel really awkward and you feel really feel really lame and all that sort of stuff. Especially whenever I'm listening to my own voice, it really it's just I still can't get over it. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's really hard to start something new, but it's very rewarding, I promise. Once you get past the you know, the initial part of it. Okay, so I kind of like this. So what we want to do is now I want to add some post-processing. Or do I want to add some post-processing, or do I want to do something else first? Now let's try the post-processing. Let me get that running. So say layouts, asset manager, package manager. Package manager? Yes. And then I think it's in the Unity registry and we go into post-processing? Yes, we do. Okay, cool. But I mean, that's the feeling of like I have code that was like 65 or 70 lines long, but it was not running, and I'm like, why? Code took me a lot of time to write, and then double that time to figure out that one letter needs to be capitalized. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. I mean, the thing that I would recommend is write the smallest amount of code that you can. Like, for instance, I don't even have like 70 lines of code quite yet. And so I would say just write like the tiniest amount of code you can and then test it as soon as possible. And just write code kind of incrementally like that. I mean, I know it's kind of hard to do that in the beginning, but like that's kind of how you end up doing it later on, is that you write the lowest, like the smallest amount of code that you can and then test it just to make sure that it works, because you never know what might not work. I mean, I tend to be a bad example of that because I've used Unity so much, like I just sort of know. But do as I say, not as I do. I think we need to add a post-processing layer and a post-processing volume. I think that's how those work. And then, like, we tell it, it's like it needs to trigger on a new layer, which is like the post-processing layer. Post-processing. I know you're supposed to put post-processing on a different layer, on a different object than the camera. Running it again and again, I was like, it's all good, why is it not running? And then it turns out, okay, one letter needs to, yeah. Yeah, it's just those, yeah, capitalization unfortunately matters in some languages. But in other languages, it actually doesn't. Like in SQL, capitalization doesn't matter, but in C# it does. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let's create a new one. Yeah. Alright, so now, if we add some bloom, we'll set this to, should it be global? No. Let's say 10, 100. The wind distance is not working. Never understood this. Why does this not work? Oops. No, really, why does this not work? I don't understand. Priority? No. Why is there chromatic aberration here? I need to remove that. No override set on this volume? Wait, what? Oh, I added chromatic. That's the problem. What am I doing? Wait a minute. What was the default on that? It's deleted. It's deleted? I thought I added bloom. I don't know why I got chromatic aberration there. This is not adding bloom, unfortunately. Threshold 0? 1? Error. So now I download Visual Studio 2019. I think so. So the thing is that every time I've done, or I've installed Unity, Unity will just install whatever version of Visual Studio it wants. So I think that's correct, but I might be wrong. I wish I could be more helpful with that, but oh, that's bloom. Okay, set to 1. I don't know why these have to be global. I don't understand. So 0.5. What will we go with bloom? So that has the dark stuff blending, the light blending into the dark, but not the other way around. Huh. I don't know. Is there like some kind of inverse bloom? Like if I do that, whoops. If I do that, then increase the intensity? Huh. Doesn't seem to be anything like reverse bloom. 0? No? Yep, that doesn't seem to do anything. The intensity, that's dirty. Interesting. Okay, so this might have to be applied the other way then. I'd have to do like lighter snakes on darker backgrounds to make this look interesting. Which, that might be fine. Might be able to make the background look kind of interesting. Invisible snake. So now I'll open Unity and try making a script. Unity will stupid, so I'll download. You download. So I'll download VS. Then Unity will something your oh, Unity is being dumb. I mean, so the first thing you need to do, I think if you're installing Visual Studio outside of Unity and not letting Unity do it, I think, okay, my stream was having issues there. Anyway, I think you need to go into Preferences and hit External Tools and just make sure that this is set up correctly. But I think other than that, I think you should be good. So let's try to do a lighter snake on a darker background. Then what happens? Copy this, and the segment in the scene. We can paste that. All right. So what happens in the camera when we apply bloom? And today Unity have to update, so now I have 3 Unity icons. Oh geez. Ah, interesting. Maybe just have the intensity at 1. Interesting. So I don't know, 3 the intensity. So glowing snake, that's always fun. A glowing snake, that's always fun. Okay. But what we want to do, yeah, the Unity updates are kind of, I don't know. Like Unity Hub should prevent the updates from happening. You should be able to manage it all through your installs, like right here. But maybe there's something different. I don't know. I tend to get it to like a working state and then I just kind of ignore it. So that's not right. And tab 2. Oh, okay. Ooh, glowing snake. I like it. Yeah, I like the glowing snake. That's kind of cool. Maybe we need to change the intensity a little bit, but otherwise I think it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like it. I think it's a good start. I had hoped to do sort of like a reverse thing. Is there any way that I can do like a inversion of this? Like an invert rendering? Is there any way? Because I know there's like, I thought there was tone mapping. There's chromatic aberration. I thought tone mapping was a thing. Am I just wrong? Possibly. Image occlusion. Oh, color grading. Ah, right. So is there any way that I can just like invert stuff? Is there any easy way to invert stuff? Let's look at this. Unity post-processing, invert colors. Don't know enough about colors to know what the inversion would be. Invert colors with post-processing. That was in 2017, interesting. So you can do color correction. Color correction says the invert colors to the image, you need to flip the original color and ramp horizontally. Okay. I update it, but when I open Unity, it still says update check. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've told mine. I think what I've told mine is not to update. So yeah, I think there's a way. Further away. So I have the license here. No. Yeah, I think I've always told mine not to update. Just because I don't know. It's generally when you get tools, like I don't know. I want to say it's a good idea to not update them, but that's not necessarily true. It's a good idea to update them only when you need to. Because like otherwise it's gonna be weird. Yeah, the update check was on, I unchecked it. Ah, okay. Okay, let's assume the color is based on, is in project settings is set to gamma. HDR color grading won't look correct, so switch to linear. External? No, we don't want to do that. Look up texture, contribution, so the tone, hue shift. No, you can't shift the hue like that. The color filter to black. I can write code in Notepad. Yeah, you can. I think you can. I don't know how it works. I don't know how Unity works if you set Notepad as the external tool. But I mean, if you're using Notepad, like you might as well use, what is it? You might as well use, yeah, I don't think there's any way that I can invert rendering here. You might as well use, oh god, what's it called? VS Code. That's what you might as well use. Because if you're going to invert, or not, if you're going to write something outside of Visual Studio. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. That was interesting what just happened there. Oh. So the bloom, let's mess with this a little bit. So if we set the intensity down to 1, no, that definitely needs to be like 2. At least 2. Where did the snake go? I don't actually know. Yeah, you definitely could write code in Notepad, like there's no reason you couldn't. So let's see here. If we set the intensity, that's very weird how that works. So I can set that intensity to, I don't know, 5, and then set the diffusion out to 1? No, 5. 5? So I think that controls how glowy it is. Yeah, that controls how glowy it is, and that could even like change over time too. I don't like really that. I think 5 is probably okay. So yeah, we can do that. Then what we can do as well is we can have like sort of a follow camera component. Say a follow follow camera component. And I spelled that okay. What we'll do is we'll have this follow the head of the snake. So we'll say protected transform target protected a serialized field is what we'll have. Then in the update, we will have if not target, return. Elsewise, we will say transform.position equals vector3.lerp between transform position and target position. By target position, and then I don't know, by some kind of, oh, you finally got it working? That's really good. Like, I know how frustrating it can be to have it not work, but it's good to hear that you got it working. You can finally write code. So say transform.position, and 3 times time delta time. I mean, we might as well just put in a protected float, and we'll say follow speed. This will be a serialized field. Then we will change this to be a 3.0, roughly speaking. All right. Then we'll kind of do the trick where we add an empty parent. This will be the camera. So Community 2019, Professional 2019, and Enterprise 2019. Probably Community 2019. I think the other two you have to pay for. I think I have Community 2019. I might be wrong. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me, but I'm going to guess that it's Community. So let's say follow camera component. We'll follow you. Okay. Interesting. That's not what we want. That's what we want. All right, so now the thing is following. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, kind of like that. All right, so I have some other thoughts for this, but do you want to wait a minute? Yeah, kind of like that. All right, so I am going to take about 5 minutes. I'm going to go get some water and stuff, and I'll be right back. Alright, and I am back. It's a bit of a quick 5 minutes, I hope. But let me go back to Gamedev. Yep, okay. So, what we're going to do. I do want the snake to scale with each sort of segment. So what I'm going to do is in the player controller, I'm going to have we're going to be using a system collection generic. I really need to set up the auto imports. That would be so nice. Anyway, we're going to have a list of the tail segments, and we will, thank you. Yeah, segments. Yeah, welcome back, thank you. Equals new game object. And so what we will do is whenever we spawn the tail, we will say segments.add segment, add segment.game object. And what I want to do is I want to make the snake kind of get smaller as it goes. And so what we'll do is we'll have a protected void resize segments. And what this will do is this will just go through and resize all the segments. So we did this in the previous version, and I'm just going to redo it now. So we'll have a protected float. This will be the max size, and then protected float min size. Something like that. So that'll be, I'll say 1 for now. And then we will say 0.3 for now. And so what we'll do is in this, we will say segments. Segments. I don't think we can do, actually. I wonder. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Or no, you can do a for each. With an index, right? Can't we do a for each geoint? This work? Does it let us do that? I don't think so. Oh, not int, but index. Did it let us do that? I think it lets us do that, right? No. Darn it. All right. Well, I tried. So we'll say for var, say index equals 0 index plus plus, or sorry, index less segments dot count index plus plus. So what we want to do is we want to iterate through each segment, and this will basically need to iterate through the index because we need to determine the size based on the index. So the actual size is going to be equal to, it's going to be the max minus the min. I think so. This is the sort of range, and then I think it'll be the index times not max minus range. Hey, percentage guy, how's it going? How are you doing today? How's the gravel box stuff going? So we'll do this. So the range divided by the count should give us the size, like the increment for each one. I think that's right. I think that's right. Didn't work on it today. Ah, okay. Busy? Yeah, I can imagine. Okay. I'm trying to think. We are working on something similar to, working on a game for the Black and White Game Jam. Not this. For something like this, what I'm thinking of is Snake, but we're going to have like a lot of blending and stuff. So I'm just trying to recreate the Snake sort of stuff we were doing the other day. So index size, and then what we need to say is it's 1, no, it's not 1 minus that. It is, what is it? Gonna have segments.count weight. Okay. What are we waiting on? What's the theme? There isn't a theme shown quite yet. The theme itself is optional. So yeah, what I was thinking we would do, say segments.count minus index. So I just want to work on the aesthetics today. But yeah, I don't know what the theme is. I think it's optional. It's optional. And also there's a thing where it says it's not required that you work on it entirety. Oh yeah, right. We're not right. I forgot. You're right. I forgot. Snakes are not real animals. They're fantasy. Making snack, of course. What I downloaded for work loads. What I downloaded for workloads. What I download. I apologize, Omar. I don't know what you mean by what do you download for workloads. Not sure entirely what you mean. What we can say is segments of index dot oh god, dot transform dot local scale. Steam has been deleting all of my 500 plus Gmods? Gmod add-ons? What? Just want to make a prop engine? Steam has been deleting all of them? That's interesting. Maybe because you have 500? I mean, is it that you have 500 add-ons for it? I mean, if you have 500, they might be considering it spam. That's impressive that you have 500. Or is it 500 plus? Like the... Because you told it to? You told it to what? Oh. You told it to delete all of them? We can resize segments here. I think this will resize everything, right? So why'd you tell it to then? Let's see. What happened? What is happening? Why did that happen? I don't understand. Where are all the snack segments going? They have a size of 0. You know, there's a button called... There is a handy... Oh, okay, I see. So they're not your... Okay, so I assume they're not things that you made, they're something else? Gamedev with Unity. What I download for workloads for Gamedev with Unity? I don't know. I mean, I assume you mean for like, what do you download for Visual Studio, you mean? I honestly don't know. I always let Unity kind of do it for me, and it just kind of works. Does not count. Why is this always evaluating to 0? This is always evaluating to 0, and I don't know why. Running out of disk space, and I don't use any of them. Okay, so they're not things that you created, they're something that someone else created. Divided by segments.count. Am I wrong? Is this the wrong? Oh. Aha. So I see the problem. Because when I typed this, I meant to say min size, not max size. Okay, I see. So you're deleting, so you're unsubscribing from them. Downloaded the VS installer, and then it gave me many options. So I selected Gamedev with Unity. Okay, I mean that sounds like it should work. And then I think all you have to do is just tell Unity that you're using Visual Studio. Not too keen on that, on this. 0.4 and 2 or 1.5. That was the wrong one. I don't don't want to do it that way. I really don't. This is interesting. I really just don't think that looks that good. Like, I don't know how you make that look good, but I just don't think that that's it. Yeah, I would do it, but I just don't think it looks that good. I really don't. If there were a way to make it look good, I would, but I can't think of how it would look good. I apologize. That is a virus. Possibly. Bacteria, yeah. It does look kind of like a bacteria. My intention has been to like put some mandibles on the front of it. So let's do that. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an empty. This will be a joint. Yeah, that'll be one of the joints. It'll be kind of up there. And then we'll create a 2D object. Yeah, sorry percentage guy, I just don't think that I can make it look good if I do that. If I could think of a way to like actually make it look cool, I would. But I just really can't. I feel bad. Let's turn this that way. That's probably fine. Okay. So the graphics themselves, probably fine like that. The joint itself, yeah, that's good. Okay. When the dev console comes out, second command you have to type is select object snake. Okay, I will do that. I want to see what that does. Can only imagine. All right. Let's set up some mandibles for this thing. And then we will duplicate this, and then we should be able to just set the X value to be like right there, and then the X scale to be like right there. All right. See how that looks. Okay, kind of like that. So now it has some like nice little mandibles on it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty neat. And we can make them, you know, move a little bit with maybe some sine waves or something. And of course, so every couple segments we're also going to want a, let's duplicate this. I'll have some legs on them. Segment with legs. Okay. And then this one will have like some tiny little legs kind of sticking out. I think that'll be neat. So 2D object, say square. Yeah, something like that. Actually, we'll have it be kind of like here. I don't know why that has that weird color. Oh, I do know why that has that weird color. Because I gave it that weird color, that's why. All right. So this will be a leg. I'll have some weird little legs coming out of it. Okay, something like that. Whoops. Something like, whoops, like that maybe? Also, if I say anything stupid, don't mind. I lost my brain cells today. What did you do that robbed you of your brain cells? Just so that I know, so that I don't do it. Were you listening to, well, actually, I'm not going to say that. I could say that, but I'm not going to. Yeah, let's check this out. There was an underage kid on the FF Engine Discord, and we didn't ban him immediately. Ah, that's always fun. Yeah, I've seen underage people. Well, I've seen underage people in Discord servers and the weird stuff they do. Yeah, it's kind of why they get banned, like, just immediately. Also, because it's against Discord TOS, I imagine. But yeah, I'm part of a couple YouTube servers, and sometimes they don't catch the underage kids too soon. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand people that old or that young. Like, I was never that immature. Segment with flags. So what we'll say is if what we'll say is prefab is going to be equal to segments.count modulus 5. And so what this will do is if equal to 0. So basically, if this is the 5th segment, then we'll spawn the one with legs. Segment with legs prefab, otherwise we'll spawn the other one. And so we'll just call this prefab. And that should work. Yeah. All right. So that's that, and then we'll have the segment prefab with legs. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. All right, so, ooh, that looks cool. I like that. I think the legs, if they looked a little bit better, they would be more interesting. Like, it'd be more interesting if they looked better, but that might be the best I can do with my skills. Alright, he's asking, so what now on literally every step, and when we told him, no, animate the legs. Yeah, I can do that. And when we told him other people have lives as well, he came back with a, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll animate the legs, and we'll also animate the pincher thingies. But one thing I don't like is that I don't like the segment right after the head having legs on it. I don't know. Yeah, we can animate the legs. I'm trying to think of whether I should do that with a script or whether I should do it with an animator. I should probably just do it with a script. I mean, I really want to fix the tail, but also not really. Yeah, I like the way that looks. I think it looks cool. Okay. So how can we do this? There's a couple ways we can do this. What's the most efficient way to do it? Trying to think. I think the most efficient way to do it would be to have the animator. Yeah, I think we'll. Yeah, I think we'll have our own little animator controller. I think that'll work. Have a little animator controller here. And then what we'll do is we'll have a protected, well, actually, have, right, okay. So let's make this the leg animator. Leg animator component. Sure. And then what we'll do is we'll store a public list. Ooh, hold on. apologies. Someone was hitting something outside, and I had to make sure they weren't like knocking on my door. All right. So this will be a list of transforms. Actually, we don't really need to store anything else. So this will be the legs, and this will be equal to some new list. And so what we'll do is in the private void update, we will set the offset to something for each of the things in the list. So let's compute the angle. So that's going to be equal to quaternion.Euler, and so we're just going to ignore the first two dimensions because we only want to animate in one dimension. And then we will say it's equal to, I guess, 15 degrees. It's probably a good offset times mathf dot sine, something like that, of time. That should animate the legs, and then we can say, you know, a protected float. This will be the speed, and we can even just have the angle be a protected float as well, or max angle, something. We'll say magnitude. Magnitude, that'll work. So it'll be this times the speed, that times the speed, and then it will be the magnitude times that, and then something like that. We'll say 15 degrees, and the speed can be 1. Or no, usually the speed needs to be like 3. Okay. And then what we will do is we will say legs, and then we'll use system.link. Using system link, say legs for each leg. Say leg.rotation is equal to angle. Do that. That should animate the legs for us. We will serialize this. And this should just be more efficient than having a bunch of components do it. I think this is fine for time.time. Because yeah, we're reading the time directly, so that should be fine. Yeah, I guess we don't need a link technically, but we'll keep it anyway. And then in here, we will have a protected, this will be the leg animator component. This will be the leg animator. And then we can serialize that so we can reference it. What we'll do is anytime we spawn a segment with legs, so we will say, I guess, spawn here, and then what we'll say is we'll say if prefab is equal to segment with legs prefab, then what we can do, link is your favorite tool, right? Absolutely. Well, it's one of my favorite tools. There's a couple other things, but yeah, link is probably one of my favorite tools. If Lua had link, I would probably only use Lua then. I don't know. Well, it would make Lua more palatable to me, but yeah. It is genuinely one of the best things. So if it has the legs, then what we need to do is we need to say prefab, or no, we need to say segment.find, or no. GameObject. Is there any way that we can get the legs easily? So I thought we could do segment.transform, or wait, segment should be a component, right? Yeah, .gameObject.transform.find. So we can only find one child at a time. .getChild. It's annoying. All right, fine. Why it's still loading? Why does that take so long? Why does what take so long? By now I could have gone through 53 pages. Oh, why does it take so long to unsubscribe from all? Is that what you're talking about? So say for each transform, sure, for each transform child in segment. Well, I mean, actually, we can just do this anyway. Like, there's no reason not to. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but you know. Segment dot game object dot transform. So for each child, if child dot game object dot name is equal to leg, then what we want to do is we want to add it. Is one beta tester missing from the server now? Ah, okay. So you're talking about your Gravelbox server? Is that what you mean? We will say that this is the leg animator dot legs dot add. Then we'll add the child here. Yeah, all right. And so now this will get animated. And the problem with that is that I think it won't get flipped. Just got a new one. I just got a new one. Trogador the Burninator? What? What are you talking about? The Burninator? Oh my god, that's actually somebody's name. That's amazing. The Burninator. Well, okay. Yeah, that's quite a name. New beta tester, yeah, okay. So the problem, okay, that's fine. Now does this one animate correctly? Oops, does this one animate correctly? Oh, it does, okay. Alright, so I think this might work. No, that doesn't go there. That goes there. Alright, this might actually work, strangely. It's very rare that that happens. Alright, so if I put all this together, then we add, let's say, a leg animator component here. To that, there's no legs, good. So Omar says development settings and Java objects and options are, okay, so something's completely broken with this. Well, that's not at all what I needed. All right, so options are Java Visual Basics, Visual C#, Visual C++, and web development. Yeah, so you want Visual C#. I don't remember why it's called Visual C#, but I think it's the same thing. So this is local rotation. There we go. That isn't a snake, that's a break-lick? A what? It looks like a little Chinese dragon, a little like a Chinese dragon. Yeah, that was like the first thing, whenever we made this the first time, I was like, you know, we could just add some wings and it'd be like a Chinese dragon. That's odd that the legs are not, I don't want them to do that. I want them to have inverted animations, but I don't know why. I don't know how to make them actually do that. Break click equal break, yeah, break leg, yeah. Oh, it was a joke, I see. Because the legs were broken? Apologies. Or general or there's a general option too. Yeah, you probably want Visual C#. So, okay, why does that happen? That's what I need to know. So why does the -1 scaling not change the rotation? Because I thought that it did, but maybe my interpretation of that was wrong. So if I set both of the scaling to 45, oh, okay, well, yeah, okay, that doesn't invert the thing. I thought for sure, oh, right, because if we invert the Z though. Wait, what? Really? Inverting the Z doesn't invert. Why does that not happen? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Why does... If I invert the rotation, or if I invert the scaling here, why does that not invert the rotation for that? Am I crazy in thinking that that should be true? I have to... No, that's definitely wrong. I guess we could modify by the X scale. That could work. That was weird. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, we could do leg dot local scale dot x times that. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to get also just modify the rotation. I'm trying to invert the rotation. Equal angle. Right, you can't modify a quaternion, you can't multiply a quaternion. Can I scale this? Times that? Really? I can't scale this that way? That's annoying. Why can't I scale this? Yeah, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the rotation invert with the legs. I don't know why I can't scale a quaternion. I don't know why I can't scale a quaternion. Why would you not be able to scale a quaternion? I guess it doesn't make any sense, but I don't really want to create a new one every single time. I mean, I guess we have no choice, but like, it's kind of annoying. So we can say leg.local rotation is equal to the magnitude. Oh, alright, I see a percentage guy. Gotta go. Dot x times the magnitude. Because I mean, this should invert it, right? Like, oh, not local rotation dot x, local scale dot x. Yeah, that should invert it for one side, but I don't like doing that. I really don't. Don't know that we have a choice, though. I'm very curious why it doesn't invert on its own, though. That's the other weird part. I mean, I guess it's fine. Like, creating a quaternion doesn't really take that much. Oh, you're mad now? What made you mad, Omar? Alright. Yeah, that's what I wanted it to do. So now you see the legs, they move at inverses to each other. That's kind of what I wanted to happen. I really kind of need to fix the tail, don't I? Guess what made me mad. Unity magically decided to work, or that didn't, or the thing that you tried to do to fix it didn't actually fix it. Probably one of the two, right? 6, let's say 2, 1.7 maybe? And then let's say every, I don't know, 7th segment, not 5th? It decided not to, it decided to not, or that didn't fix it? If that didn't fix it, that really sucks. Like, I don't know what would happen if that, I don't know why it wouldn't, I don't know why that wouldn't work. 2.5, 1.25, and then 1. Oh, yeah, that really sucks if it didn't work. Okay, this looks better, I think. Well, it's still doing the thing at the tail, but I think it looks a little bit better. Delete the whole thing and reinstall it, and again, the same problem. Yeah, that's very odd. I'm not sure what could be causing it then. Like, if I knew how to reproduce it, I would, but I don't, so can't do much. Okay, so this is scaling incorrectly. Count max size minus min size divided by the segments dot count. So, oh, I know the problem. I know the problem. It's that. Har har, that's the problem. Okay, so 0.3 and 1.5. It's probably okay. Yeah, that's really rough, man. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of what could be causing the issue, but I don't know. Ah, okay. Yeah. Need to do a little bit of fixing on this. Okay. So this will be at 1.0. That'll be at 0.3. And the head itself can be at 0.75 again, and 1. We can set the joints back a little bit like that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what could be causing the issue and how you might be able to fix it, but I really don't know. I mean, I think there's a Unity Discord, like a Discord server for Unity developers, and so you might try looking there. They might be able to help you. Yeah, I can't think of what else it could be. All right, yeah, I think this looks better. Very happy with that. Yeah, I like that. I mean, eventually we'll get the mechanics running, but you know. So what I was thinking for the mechanics, I'm thinking that there's like probably little creatures that you kind of follow around and try to eat. Something like that. Yeah. All right. So what we'll do, let's think about this. So instead of, so the way that the growth stuff is going to work is that we're going to have a, probably a growth component actually. That's probably what we'll do is we'll have like a, well, no, not this. Have a protected int current size, or no, we'll have, just have growth as a thing. We'll have protected float next growth time, and then we'll probably have a protected constant float growth delay, and then it'll be maybe 0.5. Something like that. And so we'll say if growth greater 0 at and time.time greater, not delta time, but time.time greater next growth time, then what we'll say is the next growth time is equal to time.time plus growth delay, and then we'll say growth minus minus. So what I want to do is I want to grow the segments over time. And so maybe, because usually in Snake, whenever you eat one piece of food, you end up growing one segment. But I think like in the beginning of this, we're only going to grow, like the snake's size is going to start at something, you know, larger than 1. So what we can do is we can set like the initial sort of growth to something like 7 or something, and that'll just be like an initial snake size of 7. So we'll have a serialized field, and we'll do this, and then that should be fine. All right. Let's check this out, because this should work. So this should cause us to grow to size 7 without me doing anything. Yeah, there we go. And so now we should go to size 7. Okay, kind of like that, our little Little snaky boy. Okay, and so now we need to get some kind of food, and I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what kind of little creatures we're going to eat, but yeah. Have this be food. And let's hide this for the moment. Let's create a 2D object. We'll create a... What would a capsule sprite look like? Oh, it is a capsule sprite, is it not? Okay. What does that look like? That's, I guess, okay. This will be just called graphics. Make like a, I don't know, tiny little thing. I don't know what it'll represent. Yeah, have that be food. And then we'll have, I guess, sort of a food component. Food component. And I can't remember if triggers still work after you move a transform manually. I seem to remember that they don't, but I think I also remember seeing a version of them that does, so we'll have to experiment with that. We'll have a private void on trigger, and no, we won't have an on trigger enter here. But we'll just have it sit there. I'm back, just got a snack. Most importantly, I really like snack. Oh shit. Well, welcome back, percentage guy. So, do you, oh actually I guess you don't know. I was gonna say, do you remember if collision works if you're moving a transform directly? But I don't know. I don't know if you know that much about Unity. On trigger enter 2D. So let's see if it works. I think we're just gonna test it. We'll say collider. Actually, you might have seen it, I don't know. Because like, I think what I thought it was, I thought if you move a transform directly, like with transform dot position equals whatever, I thought that it didn't trigger collisions. But I don't know why I think that. There is that triggers stop working if they get moved by a rigid body. Well, I think it's, I don't think that's true. I think that triggers don't work unless they are moved by a rigid body. But I might be wrong. I thought that that's how it worked though. Well, no, because with rigid bodies, whenever you have like a trigger, one thing has to have a collision, or has to have a rigid body. Yeah, because with triggers, or no, sorry, with colliders, colliders don't work unless one of the things that's colliding has a rigid body. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Thanks Twitch for cutting out the stream. I don't know, that might have been my internet, but yeah, let me see if this works. I think this actually won't work, but let me try it. So let's say if, we'll say var food is equal to collider.gameObject, get component. Okay. I'm always worried that my stream is going to cut out. So we're going to say if not food, then return. Then we return. Elsewise, we say, stream is still loading, are you kidding? Great. Say GameObject.destroy, see you in 10 years. Let me know when it's back and I'll try to explain it again. And we'll see if me explaining it causes Twitch to crash. That'd be very interesting if that worked. I don't think it does though. This is on trigger enters. We destroy the game object, and then what we say is growth plus equal to, I don't know, 3. We'll grow by 3 segments each time. It's been back for a long time. So you said it was still loading. All right. So what we'll do is with the food. So what I need to do is first I need to put a trigger. So a collider. So this needs to be circle collider 2D. This will be a trigger. And then this will be a capsule collider, 2D. And then this will also be a trigger. And so my guess is that this will not work. Notice I said, oh, Steam, okay. I did not notice. That was my bad, okay. So what I believe is that this will not work. And lo and behold, it does not work. Okay. That's what I thought would happen. So if my theory is now correct, then adding a rigid body 2D to this, we can set the gravity scale to 0. We can set that to 0. All of that is nonsense. Also, that's too big. 0.4. There we go. Yeah. Now, this should work if I did this right. It does not. Oh, interesting. Okay. Why does it not? Okay, so you're at 0. You're at 0. You have collider, and you have rigid body. You have collider. You do not have food component. That's the problem. Well, that's a problem, I should say, not the problem necessarily. Oh, nope, that was the problem. Okay. And so now we grow a little bit every time we eat some food. Like it. Food's a little bit too large, but that's fine. Leave it running overnight. Yeah, you might as well. Okay, so in theory, if I remove the rigid body here, then what should happen is that this should not work anymore. It's still deleting in 12 hours. Haha, okay. So this might be part of your issue. So I don't know if you know. I just want to make a prop engine, yeah. So yeah. So the issue is that if you have two things that are colliding, one of them must have, if you have two colliders, one of them must have a rigid body, or nothing gets triggered. Like collisions won't get triggered, so that's sort of the rule with triggers. What on earth did I just do? Did you not see? Okay. Let's check it out. The head here has a collider, no rigid body. The food has a collider, no rigid body. Well, that's different. Actually, I don't know how that works with, ooh, how does that work? How does that work? No, I would imagine that a collider, or I'd imagine that the cursor probably doesn't require it then. So yeah, then the behavior that you're describing is anomalous, and I don't know. But anyway, yeah, on mouse over. I wonder if that requires a non-trigger collider. Oh no. We could try with the food component. Let's see what it does. Mouse over, fascination with elevators has moved to engines. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I guess elevators have engines in some capacity, like they have, I guess, a motor. I don't know. It's sort of like an engine, right? An engine powers a motor. Mouse over. I don't know who came up with the engine. Who thought, yes, let's move car with boom. Well, the thing is, I don't think they had cars before engines. I think engines predate cars. Well, I mean, like a motor is powered by an engine, right? Generally speaking. Well, I mean, I guess not. I guess it could be that it's just like an electric motor or something. But I mean, you could power a motor with an engine, I think. I don't know, like, couldn't you? Or not? Couldn't you power a motor with an engine? Whatever is supposed to be powered. Okay, so yeah, mouse over. I don't know what behavior you're seeing with, I don't know what behavior you're seeing. It seems weird. So this is the food component. Okay. They do the same thing. The other just goes zap. Okay. Well, I mean, a motor, I'm pretty sure a motor is powered by magnets, right? But I mean, you could, I thought you could power a motor with an engine. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh. Maybe that's a video game thing. Let's shrink that down. Let's say 0.1 and 0.1. No. 0.3. 0.4. No. 0.2. Yes. Okay. So you at 0.1, 0.2, 0.2 and 0.3. 0.3? No, 0.2. Okay. That'll work. Something like that. Nope, that doesn't work. Huh. Okay. That's closer. Okay. So this is food. And yeah, make that prefab. Alright. Just duplicate this a little bit and see what we get. Okay. I mean, of course they need to move or something, but like, yeah, other than that, it's probably fine. No. Yeah, kind of like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else to do with it. Kind of would like the little food things to be like some kind of little creature, but I don't know what kind of creature they would be. I don't know how to make them look like little creatures, I guess, is the problem that I have. Earlier today, I was like, don't engines have to be at least V2? Until I realized something's velocity doesn't immediately disappear if it's not currently being moved. Oh, yeah. Well, video game things, you know. Okay, so yeah, I'd kind of like the food to be some kind of little creature, but I don't know what kind of little creature it would be. I don't know. Let's make it actually the same color as you. Because I think we want to save the mid-tones for something else. And then, I don't know, what little creature could it be? Let's go into here. Let's give it sprites. I don't know, let's see if we can give it little legs or something. Oh, that's weird. What goes there? Camera go burr. Oh, you're right. Camera is going burr. Why is camera going burr? Yeah, really, what is with the camera right now? Wow, okay. Okay. Play your game, camera. Keep your secrets then. Slightly better. Alright, I think that's fine. That's fine, okay. Camera is now being more cooperative. Okay. Let's figure out what little kind of creatures we can make these. No, we duplicate. Alright, gotta go. Alright, go. Oh, or BRB, okay. So give you little legs. If you have like, I don't know, put legs in here, little tiny legs. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what we could do with this. Here, I don't know, duplicate you. Then no. We want this to be global. Yeah, global. All right, so tiny little legs again. Maybe tiny legs in the back. Something like that. Maybe have them be the other way around. That's probably better. And we can't just take this and just, no. Rotate at the center. Something like that. Or, there we go. You can't really see the legs in the front though. Kind of want them to be there. And we want you to be deleted. Then we duplicate you. You be like right there. Have you be like right there. Yeah, I don't know, something like that, maybe. Have them be some kind of little critter. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe have almost like a, I don't know, insect kind of thing. Let's have you there and have you there, and then we'll have that there. Something like that. Then maybe just delete these. I'm trying to select those two. Yeah, those two. All right. We have that. Okay. So let's give you, let's create a parent here. Make this a leg. And that's interesting, how that's offset like that. Okay, that's not offset. That is though. Okay. And now we can give you thin little legs. Okay. And so what we can do is we can take this and we can duplicate it across the X like that. And then maybe we can have leg going like that. You have it be a little further out, like that maybe. Yeah, that's probably fine. Then we can duplicate that, and then we can reverse it back. Something like that. Yeah, that's probably fine. Then we can shrink the graphics a little bit so that they actually fit. Have them shrink locally across the center, like that. And the actual food thing, maybe instead of having it be a capsule collider, let's have it be a circle collider. And maybe 0.3, 0.1, 5. 0.15 is probably fine. You can raise that like that. It would be some kind of little bug. I don't know. Makes about as much sense as everything else. Alright, kind of like that. It's kind of hard to see what they are, but I don't know. Maybe we can come up with a better sort of graphic later on. Or maybe we can just like lower their sort of luminance, or not luminance, but like make them a bit lighter. So let's copy this and then go into here, and then all of the graphics, do. Just paste that in there and then lower it a little bit. Get a little bit dimmer. How does that end up looking? I think one of the little things did not get changed. Yeah, the one up front didn't. Okay. Or did it? Shows that it did here. Weird. Why does that look like that? Oh, is it because it's been copied from here? Yeah, okay, that's why. Just delete that and then drop some of these into here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what we can do is we can have the food things kind of move around a little bit, so that, I don't know, they have some life to them. So private void update. What we will do is say protected float next direction, or next direction change. Sure. let's say protected vector 3. This will be their target. So whatever that might be, or next target change, or target change time. This will be whatever time whenever they're going to change their target. That'd be fine. That's probably fine. All right. And so what we'll do is we'll say if time.delta time greater than target time, change time, then we'll say target change time is equal to time.time plus, I don't know, 3 seconds. 3 seconds is probably fine. And I say random.range. 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, and then what we'll do is that we'll say that the target is equal to, I don't know, random dot inside unit sphere, on unit sphere, inside unit circle. Yeah, and then we'll say dot normalized. We'll say transform dot position plus this dot normalized times, I don't know, 10. So that it's basically guaranteed to be 10 units away. What do you not like? Can't add vector 2 and vector 3. Add it as a vector 3. Do that. So this should add vector 3 dot normalized here. Yeah, do that. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll say transform dot position plus equal to transform dot up times time dot delta time. Something like that. Then we will say transform dot rotation is equal to quaternion dot look rotation between the target, or no, actually. So we need to compute the angle between our current target and, no wait, transform dot rotate towards, I think. Or no, it's quaternion dot rotate towards. So rotate towards, we rotate from our transform dot rotation to a, we'll say that the look rotation is equal to transform, or quaternion dot look rotation from the transform dot rotation to, so is that the forward or is it the upwards? I always forget how this works. I think it's where we are. No, I think it's where we want to go minus where we are. So it's target minus transform dot position. I think that's considered technically the forward. Or no, wait, the forward would be transform dot forward, right? And then we want the upward to be equal to that. Then we rotate there to the look rotation by 90 times time delta time. And that should rotate by 90 degrees a second. And then we say transform dot rotation is equal to that. That should work, I think. Yeah, I think that'll work. Give it a go. We need to actually put food in the world. Yeah, let's put a couple of these and see what they do for us. They move of their own accord. Yeah, they do, very strangely, but they do move. I'm not entirely sure why they do that, but they do. Let's see what this is about. Oh, are there multiple? Yeah, there's multiple of the food component. That's the problem. Okay. We can get rid of all of these. And say is that there's the food. In here we can remove you. There we go. Whoops, we still need to add food into the world. Whoops. Well, I don't know, let's just put a bunch of them. Probably fine. Yeah, okay. They still do the thing where they move sort of independently. Oh, because there's still more food components, okay. So that one goes there, that's fine. Graphics can be removed there. I think that's all of them? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. Now they kind of spread out and do their own little thing. And yeah, turn around, move around, okay. Or do they just go in circles? I think they are just moving in circles. I don't know why. Is it because they can't get to the point that they want to go to? Yeah, I guess they can't rotate to the point they want to go to. It says the target. Target change time. Target's never changing. Time dot time. Oh, delta time. Time dot time. Right. There we go. Yeah, okay, I think they're fine. Yeah, okay. Can eat little critters. Alright, I kind of like that. Fortunately, they can be a little hard to get. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Now, can we get... Curious if we can get like darker backgrounds or anything. Yeah, I think all these are fine. But okay. Let's see what happens if we get a sprite and, I don't know, circle. What happens if we make you completely dark? What do you look like? Oops. What do you look like if you're completely dark? So let's say we had, I don't know, some kind of obstruction. Kind of like that. And maybe some smaller things here. What do these look like? Relatively hard to see. Okay. I wonder if there's a way we can make those more visible. Trying to think. Yeah, we could surround them with like smaller versions, or we could have them like outlined or something. Is there any way to like... Ooh, what happens when we bump the contrast? Ooh, what would happen there? If we add, let's say, color grading. Yeah, oh, that's probably fine. What if we just bump the contrast like super high? Super low contrast. No, okay. I would have, oh, that's interesting with that. Really? Huh. Saturation? Well, obviously, yeah, that doesn't do much. Hue shift. Can't really do anything with that, too. Color filter? Dark red? Oh, that's cool. Like a chromatic kind of filter. Interesting. Okay. Temperature obviously probably doesn't. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's very cool. Can we measure the tint? No, can't do anything with that. Sadness. Is there any way we can do the color grading, and the motion blur. Maybe motion blur. What happens with motion blur? Very curious now. Sure. Motion blur with some kind of shutter angle. Yeah, that doesn't seem to do anything. I figured. Yeah, that doesn't change anything. Okay. That's fair. So we can add, I don't know what auto exposure does. I don't know. It does very interesting things there. Okay. Oh, that's cool. What if we change you the other way? No, you don't do that. Okay. Compression? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Press the exposure, or we can magnify it. Let's just get super bright. Okay. Speed up or slow down. No, we don't want to do that. Well, actually, what happens? So if we did, I don't know, something like that. There's a weird effect that I managed to get previously, and I don't know what it was. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Not entirely sure what I saw there. That's very interesting. So why is that happening? Oh, okay, so the minimum and the maximum have to be actually set up as minimum and maximum. I see, okay. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Let's remove that. Okay, so there's a couple options we have. One of them would be that we could add like a kind of glow to these. I don't really like that. I mean, what we could do, so just for hypotheticals, is we could make one thing completely white, and then this one, the order in layer would be 1. So we could do something like that, then make them kind of glow a little bit. So the net result would be that, yeah, there would be like these darker patches that you wouldn't be able to go into or something. I don't know how that would work. Like, I don't know how we'd make a consistent sort of glow type thing. Let's pause this. How light can we get this to go before it looks not good? I mean, even right there, it might not be dark enough. Yeah, that might be fine. We just have these kind of like darker bits. Maybe. We gotta think about this. I really wish we could do some kind of inverted rendering. I think that would be kind of cool, but I don't think we can. Or at least if we can, I don't know how to do it. Maybe we could add some kind of texture to the background. That might be interesting. Yeah, otherwise, I think... I don't know. I'm trying to think of other mechanics we could put into this as well. Yeah, I think these are fine. So I'd really like it if player could collide with these, but I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, I guess we could do that with like a rigid body or something. Or maybe if you try to go into one of them, just it hurts you. I don't know. I mean, as of right now, you just kind of go behind it. You could also have lighter ones that you can just kind of walk through for I don't know, reasons. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to think through this. So the way that I was thinking of this, there would be some kind of, what would you call it? Be some kind of world that you kind of run through. Not even really, like you'd have some kind of enemies to fight as well, but not entirely sure how you'd fight them. Still got to think through all that. I mean, it would make sense that you'd fight with like your mandibles or something, but I'm not sure what else we could do with that. I don't know. Just gotta think a little bit. I wonder if there's like some kind of like thing we can do. Let's see. Probably not ambient occlusion. I don't think depth of field would do much. Chromatic aberration, I don't think does anything. I'm very curious about motion blur, because I would have imagined that this would. Oh, okay. That's the problem. Okay. Okay, so that just makes it less visible. 1, 10, 20, 30. So does this not actually, it actually doesn't seem to blur very much. It only seems to work, does it only work on a still frame? Is that all you can do motion blur on, is a still frame? I don't know, I would have expected more things to happen with motion blur. Maybe I just don't know. Weird. I don't know. You can always add a vignette. I think that would be very useful. So classic, I don't think we need that. Actually, I don't think we need that either. I think we just need to set the intensity to something not 0. Smoothness maybe to 1. Yeah, like smoothness of 1.2. Give everything kind of a very dark feeling. Like a kind of focused feeling. 0.2. Yeah, just make everything kind of intense. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's quite dark. Kind of like that. I mean, yeah, a lot of this is going to be just what we can do with, you know, basic shapes and stuff, which I think will be a fine sort of design, you know, constraint. I do kind of want the background to change a little bit, just so that the statically colored stuff is easier to pick out. Yeah, all right. What if we add a little bit of grain? Actually, what if we add a lot of grain? What can we do with that? Intensity, size, luminance? Luminance contribution. I don't think that does anything. Like, I think if we just change the intensity to like super high, just see what this does. It's super high grain. I don't know if it needs to be more subtle. I think the more subtle the better, right? What if we change size? Kind of tiny? No, it's a good size. 1, 2. 2 you can at least see. It looks kind of like static. 0.5 intensity. So it's kind of like there, but like not there. I don't know, does it really do that much? Not really. I mean, only if we set it like much higher so that you can actually see it. I mean, even then, it really doesn't do that much. If we luminance? No, luminance doesn't matter. We also can't make it colorful, because if we do, then that kind of breaks everything. Or breaks the sort of thing that we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, I don't know. kind of like it, I also kind of don't. Feels like it's just there, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's doing anything. Let's just remove it and keep the vignette. What about the lens distortion? I do like that though. So what if we change the intensity all the way up to 1? What if we change it to negative actually? What if we use negative lens distortion? Ooh, that would be interesting. The world kind of bends a little bit. So I mean, I'm thinking whatever kind of creature this is, it probably doesn't see all that well. You know, like whatever it's, doesn't see that well, perhaps. The world kind of bends a little bit in around it. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, trying to really nail that it lives in this kind of very strange world of which we do not know the rules quite yet. Yeah, let's see what we can do. That, okay, kind of like it. So now, what happens if we add back in the food and stuff? This is the actual scene. Okay. Yeah, let's see what happens if we add in food. Why? Oh, okay, right. I always forget that the main camera gets the distortion effects for some reason. Not the distortion effects, but any of the effects that you actually add to like your own camera. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Get eaten. Yeah. Okay. Probably need some way of like tracking where the food is as well. I don't know. And then some other ways of like moving between different stages or different areas. I think all the areas are probably going to be like circular or something, because that would be weird and strange. Yeah, okay. Alright. It's very hard to actually eat some of this food. Yeah, I mean, you might just like shoot bullets or something out of your mouth as well. We'll have to see. We might also add some particle effects. I mean, we'll definitely add some particle effects, but might add some to the creature itself. I don't know. Yeah, I do kind of just want like little glowing spheres of death that you have to avoid. I do like that. Maybe they'll move as well. I don't know. Maybe they'll move just... Maybe the world will kind of like rotate a little bit. Like just it'll be a circle, but it'll kind of rotate a little bit like constantly. Maybe that's how it'll work. That'll be kind of interesting, I think. It's like almost everything will orbit. Except maybe the food. That might work. It's the idea is that it would figure out how far it is from the center and then just sort of orbit in that kind of way. Might work. So it is a little past 5. Let's work on that a little bit, and then I will sort of call it. So I guess the way that we can do that is we can make a sprite, we can make a circle, then we can make just like a giant circle. Because one of the things I want to do too is I want to make this, what color will this be? This will be the same color that the camera clears to, whatever that might be. Paste there. Make sure this is on the lowest layer possible. So actually, let's create our own layer. Let's call this the ground. Yeah. And so this will be the ground, right? And this will be on the ground layer itself, and then it will just be massive, say 10 by 10. No, we'll say 30 by 30. Yeah, something like that. Of course, we'll replace it with something else later. Or not even 30 by 30, like 40 by 40, 50 by 50. Yeah, okay. And so that'll sort of be like the world. And then the way that we'll denote that the player is not on the world is, I think we can clear to, oh, we can't clear to just a solid, like an image. We have to clear to a solid color. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. What we can do is we can add a 2D sprite, can add some kind of square. Yeah, so what we can do is we can add a square behind the camera. And this will be like below the ground. This will be the background. Then we'll give this some kind of texture, so the contrast will make it so that we always see that. So if we make this large enough, and of course it glows like crazy, but we can make it just solid black for now. And then we'll put it on the background. So that way, whenever we get to the edge, we'll see like the solid black and we'll know if there's a problem. Or we'll know that we're not supposed to go there. Maybe. Maybe it'll work that way. Yeah, let's see if we can see any difference at the edge. Yeah, we can see the edge pretty clearly right there. So what we'll end up doing is we'll end up creating some kind of sprite. Some kind of large sprite, and we'll just make the world kind of circular. So yeah, each little level will be circular for some reason. I don't know, it looks strange, that's probably why. But yeah, and then we'll just have some kind of texture right there, just to let the player know they can't really go there. Or maybe we'll have the texture on the ground itself, I don't know. I think we'll have the texture outside of the ground. And of course we need to, well, we need a higher resolution version of this sprite, of course, but we can do that in time. Yeah, I kind of like that. We'll have maybe little food things themselves not go outside of the world. And yeah, trap you in there with other snakes or something, I don't know. That's probably fine. Yeah. Trying to think of what sort of stuff we can create with this. Probably some cool stuff, but I don't know. Alright, I think that'll work. So yeah, I have like a bunch of tiny little levels. We'll have you trapped in with another little snake. Yeah. Maybe we'll make the camera a little bit zoomed out as well. Yeah, okay. I think that's probably a good place to call it then. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Tomorrow we will be doing, so for the beginner stuff at 11 a.m. US Texas, we will be doing the Chicken Invaders game. Yeah, we'll be starting to remake some of that. And then at 3 p.m. stuff, we'll work more on this, and in a couple days, well, I guess, we'll have to wait till like Monday to do this again afterwards. Okay, that'll be fine. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you tomorrow.